Hello to Solo English again with a new video today. I hope that we will hear a good result soon. Today I'm going to talk about error analysis. So as you see, EA means error analysis. So we are going to talk about mistakes and errors when we give a test, either writing or especially writing essay, writing paragraph. Students make mistakes. Well, how to correct these mistakes? Before talking about how to correct, they say that error or mistakes are the symbol of learning. They are sense of learning for students, and also the correction of errors. Students learn from their mistakes if we help them how to learn. Of course. So what is they say? Well, errors or mistakes, they are something natural when we learn a language. Of course, we make mistakes. Through this correction of mistakes, or also when we correct mistakes, this shows us how language learning or language acquisition takes place. Error and mistake. So what's the difference between error and mistake? Error is something which is unconscious. It is not within a repertoire of student or learner, and the learner can't correct it. Even if he repeats and repeats and he reads it and reads it again and again, he cannot correct it because he doesn't know. When the teacher comes with his interference, he makes a symbol, he corrects it and he shows it, or he teaches it in lesson, and the students knows this error. But mistake is within our conscience. We know it. If we revise, it, we can correct it by ourselves. When we talk, especially when we speak, a lot of speakers make mistakes because of slips of the tongue or slips of the pen, especially S, singular, in present simple singular. We use a lot of mistakes. We forget S. So especially students who are learning, they say he work, he study, because he didn't pay attention to this. Okay, error and mistake. So we have errors now. We talk about error because errors are not within our consciousness. So we need to know there are two types of errors. So error, we have global error and local error. So what's the difference between global and local error? A global error is when we have mistakes in a sentence and the sentence is completely distorted. The sentence is meaningless and the communication is hindered. The hearer or the receiver doesn't understand anything. This is global mistake. When we write a sentence or when we give an utterance, and the utterance or sentence is completely meaningless. It doesn't have any meaning. This is global. And local error is an error in which we notice that there is no distortion of meaning in sentence. There is just distortion of one element, maybe a verb, maybe a noun. So, and the student, if he revises it, he can correct it easily because it's just an element. The speaker or the hearer or the reader knows the meaning of the sentence. It's just easy to correct it. So most students use local errors. The message is understood, so it is up to the teacher to help the student to correct it. Well, now, how do we correct errors? What type of, what is the strategy we use? So we have first overcorrection. Overcorrection means the teacher corrects all words, corrects all mistakes. Maybe he writes words under the line or up the line. He corrects with, he writes, for example, verbs, he writes nouns, maybe complete sentences, and this is too demanding. It is not a good way of correcting mistakes. Second one is use of abbreviations. Use of abbreviations. For example, abbreviation, we use word order, for example. This is an abbreviation. And number 3, marginal comments. Marginal comments. Marginal comments is like, for example, you say redundancy, irrelevant, capital. This is marginal comment. And number 4 is we use both. We use marginal comments and we use abbreviation. This is the way and the most common way is to use abbreviations in the margin to give to help the learner discover his mistakes and to know what to correct, what to change and what to add, etc. This is the way we correct. So code correction means what to correct when we are correcting mistakes. So we have spelling mistakes, noun, verb, adjective, quantifiers, prepositions, syntax, lexical items, and connectors, linking words, however, moreover, in addition, and so on. This is what we correct when we correcting mistakes. So now I show you symbols to use when we correct. In papers, in students' papers, we put some symbols, and of course we agree with students what these symbols mean in order to understand them. These are the symbols that we use in the margin of the paper. So this line means irrelevant sentence. When there is a long sentence which is not correct, you say this is irrelevant sentence. The student is going to change it because he, in his mind, his ideas, he understands the sentence, he understands what the message he wants to give. He wants just to reconstruct the sentence. This number 2, this symbol means new paragraph. If you have 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs, for example, it goes to line to change to start a new paragraph. Number 3, question mark here, not clear. And number 4, this means add a word. Maybe the word is missing. We use this to show that he needs to add another word. 5, WR means wrong. Sentence is wrong where the word is not correct, is wrong. 6, CAP, capitalization, capital, of course, capital letter. And number 7, P, incorrect punctuation. Number 8, article, A, N, E, N, D. 9, noun. 10, verb. 11, gerund, G, gerund. NR, number. 13, pronoun, PR, pronoun. And 14, infinitive. So instead of using gerund, we use infinitive. 15, mode, it means model. Models can, may, must. 16, T, tenses. So all these symbols, we use them in the margin to show what to correct for students to understand, to correct the word needed. 17, adverb. 18, adjective. 19, word order. WO, it means word order. And 20, SP, spelling mistake. For example, the word is not written correctly. Now I show you the sample of mistakes students made, the real mistake of students and how to correct them. Some mistakes are global and some mistakes are local. Let's give examples. Look at the mistake. This is the mistake. This is the student has made when he was writing. So, my father sent me money from French. I do a project in Nadu. This mistake is a local mistake. We understand the message. We know what the students wants to say, but there are some mistakes to correct here. My father sent me money from French. So here we underline it because it is not correct, because it is spelling mistakes. We say France, not French, so the student is going to correct. And here, full stop. Or he can use another word. He can use another, can add something else. My father sent me money from France in order to establish a project in Nador, in order to set up. So here we should help the students to add something here to correct, or he can put full stop and here do a project. Do is not the verb, it's not appropriate, it is irrelevant verb. Say I establish a project, I set a project, so he needs to correct it. I am disagree with you. This is common mistake made by the students. Usually say I am agree, I am disagree. So here you can do this, I disagree with you. And we let the students understand it. So we pass to number 3, another. Look at this third sentence, which is long sentence first. So here we should help students to use simplicity to write simple sentences, because here it's a very long sentence. Of course, there are mistakes. First is capital F because it is the beginning. So we can do this. Firstly, the smoking shapes a big danger to the young people and especially to the adolescent students, because we see a group very important lost in our society. Well, there are a lot of mistakes here, but the meaning is clear. It is a local mistake. So we don't say the smoking, we say smoking. We can do this. Smoking. Shapes, it's irrelevant verb. We don't say shapes here. We say smoking is. You can do this. A big danger to the young people. Big danger for young people. For young people, we don't need to use and here. Especially, this is spelling mistake. We say especially adolescents. Why to the adolescents? Especially adolescents. No, we don't need students. The smoking is dangerous, not just for adolescent students, for any adolescents. So we say adolescents because we see a group very important lost in our society. In this case here, this is irrelevant sentence. You can do this. When we do this, we let students change it because maybe it is not clear. The sentence is not clear. Here we see a group very important lost in our society. Maybe he wants to say smokers are become sick. Maybe they have health problem. You can say it in this way. So we let students change it in his own way. Okay, smoking is not facility for solve problems. Fumes not benefits, so have to avoid. So to some extent the message is clear. It's local again, but there are the expression is not clear. Smoking is not facility. Facility is irrelevant verb. Say smoking is not easy, or is not. It's difficult problem. It's a serious problem. You can say smoking is here. You let students change it. Problem solve problem. You say smoking is is big problem to solve. Fumes here, it's smoking. Fumes or smoking is not beneficial, so he has to avoid it. So he has, here the verb is correct. If it speaks about about the third person, he has to avoid it because it is not beneficial. You can change this benefit. Okay, so here we can let the student change this mistake. Here you are. So there is a technique of correcting mistakes. First, in the beginning, we agree with students to use symbols and what are the strategies that we use to correct these mistakes, because whenever make a mistake, the student is just waiting for mark. When you give paper, what does he do? The student goes to see his mark. He doesn't pay attention to his mistakes, and so I suggest that we don't give mark in the beginning. Put symbols. We let students correct and follow the symbols and try to learn in order to change his mistakes, his expressions, and his sentence in the correct way. So, ladies and gentlemen, see you next time with Solo English, another video, and I hope that you will succeed, inshallah, soon. Thank you very much.